all the participating districts that make up the Broome County Bowls. We are grateful for all their support, and we are very appreciative of them being here at the farm tonight. So we would like to introduce them. They have been presented with a gift beforehand. We'll ask them to line up in front of the BC players bench right there, and then we'll get a quick picture. We'd like to welcome from the host district, Superintendent Jason Andrews, Assistant Superintendent Scott Beatty, Athletic Director Chris Plump, Margot Kibler, Vice President of the Board of Education, and Ria Deo from the Board of Education. We'd like to welcome from Vestal, Superintendent Clifford Kaysen, Athletic Director Josh Gannon, Board of Education member Shobha Angaswar, and Board of Education member Josh Mertens. We'd like to welcome from Seton Catholic Central, President Tracy Caeza, Athletic Director Preston Chapman, and Board of Directors President Luke Stanton. We'd like to welcome from Union Endicott, Superintendent Nicole Wolf, and Athletic Director Teresa McKinney. And from Maine Endwell, Board of Education member Megan Gorski. And we'd like to welcome from Shenango Valley, Superintendent Larry Dake, Board of Education President Christine Lamonaco, Member of the Board of Education, Lindsay Holcomb. From Dryden, we'd like to welcome Superintendent Joshua Bakagalupi. And we'd like to welcome from Moravia, Athletic Director Todd Mulvaney. Thank you to all our administrative support here tonight from our great districts involved with this program. Thank you and enjoy the game. Now, we would like to welcome some special educators in our players' lives. Players were asked to invite teachers or coaches from other sports that have been a meaningful impact in their life. And we would like to welcome from Vestal, George Ramia. From Vestal, Chris Dutkowski. From Vestals and Bosse's, Daniel Coleman. We'd also like to welcome from Vestal, Caitlin Pointer and Peter Malaise. We would like to welcome from Seton Catholic Central, Mr. Nick Panella. From Union Endicott, Brian Conzola. From Maine Endwell, Brianna Bogart. And Jordan Campbell. We would like to welcome from Moravia, Jacob Smith. And a shout out to all the Dryden teachers that couldn't be with us. And we would like to welcome teacher from Windsor, Adam Gabriel. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. You're welcome to go up the stairs by the fire, stand along the glass, or you can go into our grandstand terrace up there and enjoy. We have concessions and we have a little bit of an indoor space to watch the game. Now we're going to proceed with a 10-minute warm-up, followed by the national anthem and the introduction of players, and then we will drop the puck for the opening face-off in approximately 13 to 14 minutes. Thank you, and have a great night.
Go to my spot, so I'm not here. You can't hear much though when Bill's talking.
Scarsdale Raiders and the BC Bowl. Your host school, Windsor, along with our 7 additional supporting school districts, welcomes you to tonight's Section 4 athletics event. And they support the following announcement. Please display good sportsmanship at all times. Your cooperation will be most appreciated as we remember that the athletic event about to commence is another fine example of the programs offered by our schools. We should recognize the purpose of athletics is to promote physical, mental, and social, emotional well-being of the individual players and their fans. That is, this is a game between high school students, not professionals. We encourage that everyone in attendance display proper ideals of sportsmanship, ethical conduct, and fair play. Section 4 rules include no alcoholic beverages, noisemakers, obscene languages, and throwing of objects. Anyone not abiding by the rules set forth will be sent to the pig pen and subject to immediate ejection from the premise. Now tonight's starting lineups for the Scarsdale Raiders. Number 24, forward Ryan Cammey. Number 18, defenseman Lucas Kowalski. Number 9, defenseman Manuel Trellis. Number 23, forward Harry Wolf. Number 5, forward Daniel Zhao. And your goalie, number 31, Buddy Mieselman. And now for your Broome County Bowls. Starting at defense, the co-captain, number 12, Alex Burpee. At the other defenseman, number 14, Christopher Pierce. At forward, number 8, Brock Malzak. At forward, number 23, Camden Adams. And at forward, co-captain, number 16, Will Piper. And your goalie tonight, number 30, Owen Morgan. Please rise if you are able and remove your caps for tonight's singing of the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, and let's play some hockey.
I'll be out of here. I don't want to We'll go from there. Get him, Sue!
Okay, you are looking live at the farm, beginning of the first period between the Scarsdale Raiders in white and the BC Bulls in black. 0-0, about 2 minutes in. Shot on goal, Owen Morgan saves it, pops it up in the air. Covered up by the Scarsdale goalie, and we'll get a face-off. Finn O'Brien, coach chasing after the puck, gets tripped up by a Scarsdale defenseman, and we'll go on a power play. So here we go. We start on the BC Bulls power play. Chris Pierce controls it at the point, fires across to Burpee. Burpee to Adams. To Burpee. Adams looks, passes to Pfeiffer. Back out to Burpee. He shoots on goal, knocked down and into the corner. Pfeiffer tracks it down. Bulls move it around the perimeter. Adams at the point. Scarsdale's really packing it in on this penalty kill here. Pfeiffer circles to the corner and leaves it for Chris Pierce, who goes the other way with it, but no one there on the receiving end. Pierce able to keep it in though. Scarsdale looking to get it out here. Cross the blue line where Malzak will have to backtrack and pick it up. Malzak leaves it for Adams. A little over a minute here on this power play for the Bulls. Gotten, I think, about one shot on goal so far during this power play that was easily saved by the goaltender for Scarsdale. Adams crosses the blue line and they enter the offensive zone. Puck loose in the corner, picked up by Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer comes towards the net, circles back to Adams. Adams drops it for Burpee. Burpee to Adams. Adams goes cross ice to Pierce. Pierce sends it in on goal, blocked by a Scarsdale defender. And they'll come the other way with it. Shot blocked by Chris Pierce. Puck loose behind the net. Here comes Adams. Off of Piper's skate. Malzak along the boards, can't get there, and here comes Scarsdale. They're going to run out the rest of this power play so the Bulls aren't able to convert, and we'll go back to 5-on-5. Shot on goal from distance, gloved by the goalie. DeVoe on the face-off. Back to Burpee. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Joe Pierce. Joe Pierce ends up getting dumped around the net. DeVoe has a chance, comes out in front, and Scarsdale will come away the other way with it. Joe Pierce and Brendan Poole man the defensive end for the Bulls right now. DeVoe, Tristan White, and Larkin Bianco offensively out there for the Bulls, and we will get an icing call. We got a face-off in the BC Bulls defensive zone, comes around to the perimeter. Loose along the boards, near side boards. That's Joe Pierce in there in the mix. Along with Finn O'Brien, Anthony Mazzio out there, and Owen Harrison. Scarsdale comes away with a shot on goal, goes wide. Centered in front, nobody there for Scarsdale. Owen Harrison will pass it back to Brendan Poole. Poole, number 11, will chip it along the boards. Mazzio on the other end of it. Bulls having trouble clearing the zone here. Scarsdale pushes it in behind the BC net. Big hit incoming there by Joe Pierce. Pierce again. Centering pass, nobody there for Scarsdale, but they're still able to keep it in the zone, putting the pressure on this BC Bulls defensive unit here out. Centering pass, tried for a one-timer, couldn't get a hold of it. Bulls will change it up on the lines, come out with a fresh set of forwards and D pair. We're gonna get a penalty on Broom. Bulls on the penalty kill here. Scarsdale works it around the perimeters. Piper, Adams, Chris Pierce, and Burpee will try to kill off this 2-minute minor penalty on Joe Pierce. Shot on goal, goes off a skate. Rebound, score, Scarsdale on the power play. Here we go, back to 5-on-5 hockey. 9 minutes or so left in this first period. Puck played ahead. Adams able to chip it into the BC offensive zone where it's played by the Scarsdale goalie. Piper on the forecheck, loses his man. And here comes Scarsdale the other day. They can have some numbers if they hurry. Puck ends up in the corner, near corner. And now behind the net. Pass in front for Scarsdale, not able to connect, and here comes Malzak and Adams. Adams brings it up the wing, loses control of the puck, and it ends up along the boards. And back out to Alex Burpee at center ice. Piper up to Malzak. Malzak cutting towards the middle, loses control of it, and it'll come back the other way and go out of play. Face off, Pierce from distance, pad saved by the Scarsdale goalie. Scarsdale with a long outlet pass, not able to connect and intercepted by Joe Pierce. Pierce's pass likewise intercepted by a Scarsdale player, and we've got a offsides. So we had offsides on that play on Scarsdale, so it just results in a simple face-off outside the zone. Ends up here on Brennan Poole's stick, chips it ahead. Tristan White tries to push it forward, can't. Player on Scarsdale falls down, ends up on Larkin Bianco's stick. Nice save by the goalie, and then ends up out of play. Face-off, and O'Brien is able to win his face-off and then go out and get it. Passes it around the boards looking for Mazzio. Mazzio is going to be tied up with the Scarsdale defender. Here come the Raiders, fired in the zone, ends up on Owen Morgan's stick. He paddles it back towards the boards, and it goes up and around the glass. Covered it up, and we'll get to a face-off here. Face off in the Broom zone, find themselves down 1-0 with 6 minutes to go in the first period here. Scarsdale scored on a power play goal. circle around behind the net. Leaves it for a defenseman. Stolen by Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer and Malzak on the way. Adams joins them. Adams shoots. Save. Glove save by the goalie. Back out to Burpee. Burpee shoots on net. Low on the ground. Shot. Oh, just wide. Adams wraps around. Another shot on goal. Couple, 2-3 shots on goal here by the Bulls, but they can't connect. Adams up with Adams. Comes loose. Malzak comes in, sweeps in. She shoots. He scores! Score! Brock Malzak to tie it up. Here comes Pfeiffer. Over to Adams. Adams looks, he shoots, he scores! 2 in a row for the Bulls. Dumped in. Malzak traps it down the corner, so he had about 2 goals in about 20 seconds. It's like 2 players collided on the ice, but both got up and kept skating. Shot save, Morgan. Shot goes high into the air against the boards in the near corner. Puck springs loose, crosses center ice. Goalie's going to have to come out to play it. Always exciting. He just dumps it back in the corner. Bianco's there to disturb the play. And Bulls applying a nice forecheck there with Tristan White. Shot from distance goes up, nice block there by the Scarsdale defender. Shot save, Morgan. Centering pass in front. Morgan able to knock it away into the corner. White looking for it for the Bulls, not able to get to it. Pierce chips it out, ends up back on White's stick. Brendan Poole able to get it out past center ice. Centering pass for Scarsdale, goes off the stick and into the corner. Puck gets loose in the middle, shot. Looks like it was either deflected by a BC player or goes to the corner either way. One-time shot on the ice, low. Morgan's able to keep the rebound out of the net as well, and Scarsdale will have to backtrack. Nice breakout by Scarsdale. They end up with the puck and a shot, but the shot goes wide. Puck takes a hard bounce off the boards and ends up back in the Bulls' offensive end, but on the stick of a Scarsdale defender. Centering pass just a little bit outside for Adams. But he's able to back check and get the puck back, and now he's on the move towards the net, shoots a backhander that goes just wide near side. Here comes Adams again. Shoots. Save. Pfeiffer kicks it in front, ends up with Malzak to Adams. Adams makes a nifty move and scores! Burpee into the corner. Oh, saved by Morgan on an off-angled shot by Scarsdale. Nice play by Owen Morgan to be ready for that one. Adams with some fancy footwork along the boards, working over to Pierce. Pierce will fire it in on goal. He's able to chest it to the corner. That's where Pfeiffer's there waiting, now in a puck battle with Scarsdale. Malzak comes for support. And he's gonna, nope, can't quite come away with it as he loses his footing. But Pfeiffer and Adams can keep the pressure up. And that looks like Larkin Bianco has joined the rush there with Pfeiffer and Malzak as they switch the other forwards. Max DeVoe comes onto the ice. Back check here by the Bulls as Chris Pierce tries to fish it free. He does. Pfeiffer trying to chip it ahead so he can probably, hopefully get off the ice, and it's going to go off sides, and we'll change up some lines here. Dumped into the zone, icing waved off. And we've got 25 seconds left in the first period. Bulls up 3-1 on a flurry of goals by the Adams, Malzak, and Pfeiffer line here midway through the first. Centering pass there for DeVoe. And we are going to get a penalty call with 13 seconds left in the first period. So at the very least, we will have a power play to start the second period. "11 seconds left. Bulls maybe just looking for one chance on goal here before the horn sounds. There, they might get it here. White shoots, goes wide. All right, we'll go 3-1 up at the end of the first period. Start the next period on a power play. We'll see you in 15 minutes. Start of the second period coming up here. The BC Bulls on a power play. Burpee has the puck taken from him on a shorthanded attempt. Saved by Morgan, but can't keep the second one out. Scarsdale scores shorthanded. All right, Bulls still on the power play, but giving up a goal here within the first 30 seconds of the second period makes this a 3-2 game. Here comes Scarsdale again. They are moving. Nobody on the other end of that pass, and here comes Malzak. Going to try to set something up on the power play here. Malzak dumps it in the corner. Ends up along the boards behind the net. Joe Pierce over to Chris Pierce. Malzak, Adams picks it up. Adams looks back out to Joe Pierce. Adams, Chris Pierce shoots on net, saved. Pass is knocked down by Max DeVoe, and he ends up, shoots on goal, saved. Good forecheck there by the Bulls, able to force a turnover. Brennan Poole. Bianco kicks it in to the zone, leaves it behind the boards where Tristan White will try to apply some pressure. White to Bianco. Bianco dumps it in. DeVoe will have to come a long way to chase that down. Good forecheck by Bianco. Keep that puck tied up here in the Bulls' offensive end. White comes in, applies some nice pressure there. And Scarsdale will have to give it up to Brennan. Poole. He's in the back corner. And here he comes. Skates it out on his own. Head up, crosses the ice. Tipped off the board. Piper goes up the wing with it, crosses center ice, no icing. Here comes Malzak and Burpee and Adams. Adams shoots on net, doesn't hit anything. Another follow-up shot, rebound goes high and out of bounds. On the face-off, Piper plays it back. Chris Pierce, shot blocked. Malzak turns, can't get a clear pass off, but Piper's able to rifle a shot in that's saved. Adams, Piper. Piper chips it in. Malzak will have to come off the ice and is replaced by Max DeVoe. So it's DeVoe, Piper, and Adams out there at the forwards right now. In front, shot. Oh, looks like someone on Scarsdale got a piece of that one, keeping it out of the net. Pass knocked down by Scarsdale. They got 3-on-3, shot saved by Owen Morgan. Good outlet pass, Adams, Piper. Can't get it through into the zone, and here comes Scarsdale picking up speed the other way. Piper can't get the chip in that he's looking for. Gets it to Bianco maybe, and finally able to clear it into the zone. So Piper can get off the ice, and they can get this full second line on. Here we go, we'll change it up and do a face-off. Joe Pierce shoots, goes wide, ends up in the corner. Puck goes high in the air, knocked down by Poole. Ends up on Joe Pierce's stick. A little bit of pressure applied here by Scarsdale to keep it in their offensive zone. Puck will come back the other way, icing waved off. Pierce has his outlet pass blocked. Little shot from distance is blocked by Poole for BC, and he'll push it ahead, where Bianco will try to get some pressure and see if he can pry that puck loose in the BC zone. Squirts out near center ice, where Scarsdale will take over with it. Looking to set something out from deep in their own end. Good forechecking there by White, and Adams able to break up that advance and move the puck down to the Bulls' offensive side. Piper puts on some pressure. Malzak comes in off the bench. Here comes Adams. Adams from deep, fakes a shot, and ends up with Brendan Poole. Brendan Poole's got a look, shoots, goes wide and high. Pierce chips it in. Ends up on a Scarsdale stick, and they're able to clear it out the other end for icing call. Face off in the BC offensive zone. Chris Pierce one-timer goes wide. Burpee is able to keep it in. Here comes Chris Pierce. He shoots. The goalie's able to block. Looks like he got a blocker or a stick on it to keep it out of the net. A nice little play there by Chris Pierce to keep the puck in the zone. Nice pressure here by the Bulls, not letting up, getting off shots. Keeping Scarsdale deep in their own zone. Pierce slides it up again. He shoots right at the goal, and it just high. Another shot high. Uh-oh, 2-on-1 on the way back here. Scarsdale got a fortunate bounce. Shot goes wide by the Raiders. And BC will chip it ahead for an icing call and a face-off.
Billboard, baby, do a leap.
Face off in the Scarsdale offensive zone here. Bianco comes back to play it behind the net. Joined in by Poole. Bulls are playing it here, the near side boards. It's chipped ahead by Scarsdale back into the near side corner. And it'll go to the distance for icing. About halfway through the second period here, 3-2. Bulls had 3 first period goals. Scarsdale had 1 in the first period and then 1 in the second period shorthanded. DeVoe and Larkin Bianco putting on the pressure here. Joe Pierce takes a shot. It's deflected in front. And Scarsdale comes the other way with it. Shot save, Morgan. Poole able to clear it out. Back along the blue line and near the near board here. Offsides. Puck ends up behind the Scarsdale goal and back around the perimeter. Malzak on the forecheck, chasing behind the net. Puck squirts through and we're going to get icing back down to the other end. Puck loose in front. Moves over to the corner. Pfeiffer and Adams there for the Bulls. Malzak comes to cut it off behind the net. Scarsdale able to sneak it out back onto Burpee. Burpee sends it to the near corner. The Pfeiffer's there. Can't get much stick on it, and it moves into the far corner where Adams is with it right now. Adams advances towards the net, circles back. Plays it back to Burpee. Burpee open. One-timer, Chris Pierce goes wide. Nice pass and one-timer just a bit wide. Here comes Adams again, makes a move. Again, Adams around behind the net, back out to Pierce. Pierce eyes it up, over to Burpee. Burpee looks, shoots, saved by the goalie, loose in front. Puck still loose behind the net. Pfeiffer and Adams both back there. Adams tries to flip it out in front. Malzak tracks it down, keeps it in the zone. Adams behind the net. Adams backtracks, fakes, and then back to Pierce. Pierce at the high slot. Here comes Adams. Adams the burpee. Adams, burpee shoots, rebounds loose, shot Adams. No goal. Lots of opportunities here for the Bulls. A lot of pressure here. Burpee again, shoots wide. Chris Pierce with it now. Moves it to Adams. Adams back to Chris Pierce. He shoots again, goes high and wide. Adams again with it in the corner. Leaves it for Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer back to Adams. Adams to Burpee. Burpee to Pierce. Pierce shoots again, deflected off to the side. Adams. Oh, finally Scarsdale able to clear it for an icing and change up the sides. Lots of chances there for the Bulls. Face off in the BC offensive zone. Finn O'Brien, Max DeVoe, Narca Bianco out there at forwards. Puck comes loose in front of Owen Mulligan. That's Joe Pierce able to move the puck up the ice. No offsides there. Nice block of the pass by Max DeVoe. Ends up on his stick. He's looking now. Centering pass to O'Brien. Bryan can't quite get the one-timer off, and here comes Scarsdale. Centering pass just a little behind number 11 for Scarsdale, and here comes Poole. Can't get out of his own zone, and Joe Pierce will have to go back and get it. Just under 5 minutes left in the second period. 3-2 Bulls. Long pass. We're going to get an icing call. Face off in the BC zone. 3-2 lead. Tries a long outlet pass. Pfeiffer able to take it away from the defender. He's got some space. Gets this penalty. Able to draw a penalty. So it looks like we drew a penalty, and we're going to get a penalty shot. Number 16, Will Pfeiffer, to take it. I believe this is the first penalty shot in high school hockey here at the Farm that I can remember. So Will Pfeiffer here will go one-on-one with the Scarsdale goalie after being impeded on his way to the net by a defender behind him. He makes a move, looks, fakes, shoots it high and over the net. So a missed penalty shot attempt, and Wolves end up with it in their own zone. Puck loose in front, shot, oh, just over the shoulder of the Scarsdale goalie and back to the boards. So the Bulls keep on the pressure here. Adams with a centering pass, goes off Pfeiffer's stick and ends up with Burpee. Burpee over to Pierce. Pierce drops it in for Adams. Over to Burpee. Pfeiffer makes a move. Over to Pierce. Pierce shoots, save. Adams with a hit, able to break up.
Weight room! He's 100 pounds!
Nice commentary up here as Scarsdale takes over with the puck. Camden Adams delivered a monster hit. Shot goes high and out of play.
Yeah.
Face off in the Scarsdale offensive zone. Max DeVoe delivers a big hit, but we're going to get a penalty on it. Roughing call on Broom and number 18, Max DeVoe. Scarsdale sets up a power play. Broom on the penalty kill, and they'll get moving the other way. Here comes Scarsdale the other way. Scarsdale shoots, shots deflected into the corner. Scarsdale with a 5-on-4 advantage. Move the puck into the corner, back out to the point. Work it around the perimeter, centering pass goes wide. Piper on the move on a Adams pass ahead, can't quite catch up with it, and here comes Scarsdale the other way. They could have numbers 3-on-2 if Scarsdale hurries, but Adams hustles back on the back check. And Adams flips it ahead. Piper stays on side and he'll chase it in, but can't keep up with the Scarsdale defender, who brings it back to the other way to start the power play for Scarsdale's offensive setup. 42 seconds left. Another chip ahead caused the Scarsdale goalie to come out and play it. Adams picks a pocket, brings it to the corner, turns, sends it across to Joe Pierce. Pierce to Pfeiffer, short side, off the side of the net. Got 10 seconds left on this power play. And 1 minute 10 left in the period. Ooh, pass in front off of Scarsdale skick. Good at scoring opportunity there. Pierce comes in, delivers a big legal hit. We're going to run down the final 30 seconds here. Bianco centering pass can't connect with Malzak. Pierce gets his shot blocked. It trickles over to the far side of the net, but stays out. Final 22 seconds left here. Poole will backtrack. DeVoe, Pierce, Malzak, and Bianco on the ice right now for the final 12 seconds, and hopefully one last rush. Here comes Bianco, able to chip it ahead, but into the corner. Puck squirts loose, back into the BC defensive zone. We'll go to the end of the second period, up 3-2. We'll see you in 15 minutes. Beginning of the third period, 3-2 Bulls. Burpee to Pierce. Chips it ahead to Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer off the boards, can't connect with anyone. But able to push the puck into the BC offensive zone. They'll play it around the boards to the other side where Burpee waits for it. Malzak puts it in front of the goalie. He's able to paddle it away. Pfeiffer centering pass. Not able to get a shot off as Malzak. Ends up with Pierce from the perimeter. He shoots, goes off some bodies, loose in front, and the goalie covers it. Scarsdale controls in their own end. Here they come on a breakout. Pierce able to stand up. Scarsdale forward. Here comes DeVoe. He sends it into the corner. Bianco and O'Brien are there for the Bulls. And O'Brien breaks loose. The goalie's able to knock it to the side. Brendan Poole able to break up that shot attempt. The Scarsdale takes control, but they'll have to retreat out of their offensive zone and restart. Here comes Cam Adams. Oh, just loses the puck. Adams ahead. Ooh, just intercepted by Scarsdale. Pfeiffer leaves it for Malzak. Malzak shoots wide on the near side. Malzak tries to center it on Pfeiffer's stick. He can't get off a decent shot. Here comes Scarsdale the other way. Nice break up there defensively by Chris Pierce, and here he comes, building up ahead of steam, headed towards the goalie, passes it over to Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer shoots wide on the near side. Adams drops it back for Burpee. Burpee sends it in. Puck loose, and here comes Scarsdale. Crossing center ice, crossing the blue line, 1-on-2. Shot blocked. Looks like Chris Pierce probably blocked that shot up, or Burpee. Chipped out in front, puck's loose in front, picked up by Chris Pierce. Out to Malzak. Malzak to Pfeiffer off his stick a little too hard on the pass, and it ends up in the corner. Pfeiffer tracks it down in front. Burpee chips it into the corner. Oh! Nice pressure there by Scarsdale, able to get off a shot. Comes around to the other side. Adams. Adams up the middle. Push to the corner. And drives it around the back of the boards. 13 minutes left here in the third. Pfeiffer to Adams. Adams making a move. Goes into the corner. Pierce sends it back into the middle. Shot. Save. Pierce to Pfeiffer, but he can't connect with the net. Saved by Scarsdale, keeping it a 3-2 game. Pfeiffer around to Pierce. Can't keep it in the zone. Burpee has to go backwards. Able to pick it back up and push it forward. Burpee on the move. Bulls will change out some players, get some fresh bodies. DeVoe burpee on the pressure. Far corner. Ends up at center ice. Sends a pass, hits Bianco. Bianco tries to fire it in. It's blocked by Scarsdale defender. DeVoe meets the puck on the near boards. Gets it over to Tristan White. Takes a hit out in the slot. Has to give up the puck. Poole gets it back. He shoots on net. Save. Rebound control by the Bulls. Temporarily. And then Scarsdale comes away with down the other end.
Buddy, stay up!
Puck goes high and over Morgan's head. He gets the boards, comes back around the other side. Tristan White will chase for the Bulls. Joe Pierce there on the back end. Pfeiffer to Adams. Adams shoots, score! Pfeiffer to Adams!
Jack, keep your head down, boys! Let's go!
Pfeiffer to Adams. Adams racks up a hack trick here in this 4-2 game. 10 minutes, 52 seconds left in the third period. Cam Adams has been on fire today. 3 goals. And an assist, I believe. Here comes Scarsdale looking to answer. Shot blocked. Looked like either Pierce or Burpee got a hold of that one. And here comes Pfeiffer back the other way. Moves the puck into the corner. Loses his footing on a hit. Pierce battles forward along the near boards. Adams, Malzak, Pfeiffer on the move. Got a defender down. Oh, look at one-timer attempt. Could not connect. Looks like we're going to get a penalty on Broom. Get a tripping call. So we had a tripping call on number 16, Will Pfeiffer for the Broome Bulls. Sets them up on a penalty kill here with 9 minutes and 43 seconds left and a 2-goal lead. Larkin Bianco and looks like Max DeVoe out there at the forwards trying to kill that penalty. That'll go off the goalie's stick and out of bounds. Pierce, one-timer wide. Here comes Scarsdale. Moving quickly up the ice and into the corner. Puck working around the perimeter now, as they look to set up their power play. Get it into the corner, the winger. Patiently. Bulls able to disrupt it a little bit here. And look at that, here we go, what a play. Max DeVoe, I believe, comes out, gets a shot off, nice play. And way to kill that little attempt there. And the Bulls must get back on the defensive end. Shot wide by Scarsdale. Ends up in the corner. Circling, shot high off the glass. Adams and Malzak out there, 33 seconds left in the penalty kill. 8 minutes, 19 seconds left in the period. 4-2 lead for Broome. Long outlet pass to Malzak. Malzak got one man to beat. Makes a power move and around the net. Goes down, no penalty. Penalty will be killed. Pfeiffer will come back on the ice now, play 5-on-5 hockey. Malzak will need to take a breather. Bianco will come in. Puck comes loose and into the corner. Off of a stick. Chris Pierce, Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer dops it for Adams. Adams turns on a dime to Bianco. Pfeiffer moving towards the net, shoots, puck's loose. Score! Lucky Bianco! Long outlet pass. Icing waved off. Finn O'Brien chases behind the net on the forecheck. Tristan White joins him, 22 in black. O'Brien picks it up. Pass in front. White. White looks, drops it in the corner. Tristan chases it down in the corner. Puck battle. Out to DeVoe, he's got a shot. Oh, just wide. Puck goes the other end for icing. Puck loose in the circle. Comes over to Pierce. Oh, puck squirts loose. We got 2-on-1 for Scarsdale. Oh, Burpee, nice backly. Clears it out of bounds. Oh, no, it stays in. Puck loose along the boards. Here comes Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer eyes it up, backtracks. Leaves it for Burpee. Burpee's pass deflected. Ends up behind the net. Balzac. Adams. Pierce. Shot save. Puck's in the air along the boards. 5 minutes about left here in this game. Bulls up 5-2. Oh, Piper's pass intercepted, and he'll have to get back on defense. Chris Pierce. Long stretch pass. Ends up on Malzak's sticks. He leaves it for, oh, can't get it to anybody. Still chasing it down is Malzak. Finally gets it to Piper. Piper in front. Pat, score! Piper to Malzak. The Bulls up to a big 6-2 lead right now. As the line of Adams, Piper, and Malzak just continues to buzz, racking up 6 goals here today. Shot on net, hits, looks like it hit an Owen Morgan pad and then off the post. Long stretch pass. Now, here comes Poole with a head of steam. The big fella moves it into the zone. Plays it into the corner for DeVoe. DeVoe fires it around the other side to Larkin Bianco. Oh, I was mistaken. Bianco did have a goal earlier today. Pass in front from Bianco to DeVoe. Nice save by the Scarsdale goalie. Here they go, moving ahead. Nice break up by the Bulls defense. Backhand attempt. Morgan able to break that up. Shot from the point. It's blocked by, looks like Max DeVoe with a tremendous block on that play. And he'll have to come off and take a little breather. Ben O'Brien circles behind the net. Lavish. Mazzio out there. Chris Pierce. O'Brien can't connect on that pass, but no icing went off his stick. Puck deep in the zone. Puck behind the Bulls net. Comes Mazzio looking to track it down. Won't get there and we'll get an icing. Adams. Malzak chips it ahead. He's got a head of steam. He moves in. Score something. Yeah, it looks like we got a goal by the Bulls. Just relentless pressure by Broom. Malzak nets another one, and we're up 7-2. Piper with the steal. He looks, centers it, shot, saved by the Scarsdale goalie. Stella Irons controls the puck on D, checking into the game here. Tries to find Bianco, plays it in the corner, Scarsdale. 2 minutes left here. Poole comes in, delivers a hit, but looks like we're going to get a penalty out of it here for the final 2 minutes. Here comes Scarsdale. They'll have some numbers. Puck loose in front. Broom's got to touch it up. Scarsdale on a power play here for the final 2 minutes of the game. O'Brien, Owen Harrison out there. Jacob McAvee checks into the game along with Joe Pierce, trying to kill off this penalty here for the final minute 33. Scarsdale moves to the Miller, shoots, save Morgan, rebounds loose. He's trying to crawl on it and gets to it.
We've been in the gym. Yeah, we've been in the gym.
Shot deflected high in the air off the glass. Shot, puck's loose in front. Morgan able to knock it to the side. Behind the net, out in front. Centering pass, can't be connect on a one-timer. Scarsdale still in possession. Out to the point. Shoots, shot, blocked by Finn O'Brien. It looks like we're going to get a penalty on Scarsdale. Shot wide by Scarsdale. It's the final 30 seconds. Megan Miller checks into the game. We'll start the forecheck here in the final 20 seconds. Scarsdale on the approach. Plays it back.
Start the buses! Start the buses!
Bulls will hold on to win here. Time will expire. 7-2.
Have fun!